Hello, I'm Ryan Eftank with Smokin' Brothers. Today I want to introduce you to our brand new controller we have available to go on our barbecue grills. Right here it is. This is the controller. Smokin' Brothers and Savannah Stoker have teamed up to bring you the best controller on the market. The top digital readout is actually the internal temperature of your grill. Now there's a little red indicator light called standby. That will be on whenever you're plugging the grill in. Now the set value is the temperature that you would set the grill to maintain, and then below that you have a row of lights. You have a fan light, an ignition light, an automatic or manual mode light, and an auger light. The AM button is actually your automatic to manual switch, and it can also, we'll go into further detail later on. The up-down arrow keys allow you to set your adjustments. The set button allows you to hold down to get into the cooking programmers. And then the auger button allows you to control the auger and have a feed directly into the fire pot. And then the power button, lastly, is what turns the controller off or on. Now, the good thing about this controller is if you currently own a Smokin' Brothers grill, you can upgrade your controller just by going to one of our local dealers at smokinbrothers.com and putting your zip code in to get the current dealer closest to you. Now, what this controller can do, when you first get this controller and install it on the grill, turn the power on. 225 shows up. This is your set point value right here. That's what you use to set the temperature of the grill. This is the internal temperature of the grill right now. So that will always be reading out the internal temperature of the grill. Now, when the grill is going and it reaches that temperature of 225, this little red light underneath here will shut off. That's your igniter. That lets you know that the fire is lit and the fire is going. It's safe to turn up the temperature. Now, to change the set point, you can start changing the arrows, hitting the arrow keys up or down. Then there's a little red dot that flashes right next to it. Now, if you want to go faster, you can hold the arrow key down and it'll scroll up, or you can hold it down and it'll scroll down. But that little red dot, if you want to go even faster, you can move it over one digit, and now you're going to be changing the digit next to the left of that dot. 550 is the maximum temperature on our controller. Now, very few things you'll want to cook at 550 degrees. Our low temp actually on the grill is 160, in which you can adjust to 160 very fast by sliding that dot over and going down, hitting the down button, and it'll go down to 160 just like that. Now that you're cooking and you're doing your normal cook cycle with the grill, what you can do when you're done, you hit the off button. And when you switch it off, it will go to hot, and then your grill will actually cool itself down to 130 degrees, and then it'll shut it completely off and go into standby position. And that's normal cooking procedures with our new controller. Now, an added feature to our controller we have is a meat probe, actually. Now, the probe itself is a very heavy-duty probe. It's actually rated at 750 degrees for the wire. And then what you end up doing is you turn your grill on. Once it's on, it'll go through its lighting sequence. You let it light and you'll get to the temperature. You plug it into the meat probe socket, and then now it begins to read the temperature of the meat probe. Now, to change your temperature while it's in the meat probe, because your bottom numbers or the set value will always show your meat temperature. Your top one will show the internal temperature of your grill. Now, to change your temperature while you're cooking of the internal, you just hit the up key and then you get back to the set point values of your temperature of the grill. And then see, it flashes back to the meat probe. Now, you just put this meat probe inside the grill, put it inside the meat, and then it'll continue to read out the internal temperature of your meat as it's cooking. Now, one other feature that our grill now has as well is a built-in cook cycle. Now, what we do with that cook cycle is a program that you can put into your controller, and you have 3 adjustments to it. The first one would be considered your low temperature control. So you can put in 180 degrees for 2 hours or 3 hours, depending on how long of a time period that you want it to be cooking at 180 degrees. Once it reaches that parameter, it will jump on to the second temperature of the grill now. And so now you can set it for 250 degrees and then set the parameter for when it needs to adjust to the third cycle of the cook program. Now, you can do on the second program, you can actually do two different ways of controlling it. You can control by time, which is what you already did in the Cook Program 1, but now for the Cook Program 2, you can actually put it in for a meat probe as well. So you can put the meat probe in, set the temperature for what you want the internal meat temperature to be. Once it hits that temperature, it will go on to the third stage. Then the third stage we use as a holding stage. Now you can set it for a low temperature, you can set it for a high temperature, but then what ends up happening, you end up cooking the whole time at that last stage. That's where the grill will remain at until you shut the grill off. Now I'm going to show you how to set the parameters in the Cook Program. You hold the set button down for 3 seconds. There it is. There's the Cook Program. Currently it is off. You want to adjust this, update or run. If you're going to use your Cook Program, you want it to be in the run position. Go ahead and set the button. Now your set point 1 is right there. Here's your temperature that your set point 1 will be cooking at, 180 degrees. And again, if you wanted to change that, you adjust it by moving the arrow keys, or you can adjust that red dot over and move it all at once. So our set point is going to be cooking at 204 degrees is going to be the grill temperature. And then now we go to how long we want it to do that. This is set point for the time, and it's in minutes. So this is going for 2 minutes. There's 6 minutes, and then if you wanted to adjust it faster, slide that red dot over and go up. There's 17, 20, 37 minutes, 47 minutes. So now your Cook Program on the set point 1 will be going for 47 minutes. Now it's asking for fan speed. Now fan speed is something we can get into a little bit later, but you want to leave it at 3. This 3 is the maximum fan speed that you want the normal operation to be on. Now we go into the second cycle of the Cook Program. This is for the internal temperature of the grill. We're going to be cooking at 275 is what we have it set for. Again, you can adjust it by using the arrow keys. Now it says this is for time. The cook cycle now is going to be adjusted for time. It says 120. 120 means 120 minutes. So 2 hours is what we have it set for to be cooking at that temperature. Now it says for food. Now if you want to set a food sensor, this is when you would have your food probe plugged in, and then you adjust the temperature of the internal temperature of the meat that you want it to be set at. So you can range it from whatever, depending on what you're cooking. If you want to do with turkey or you want to do with a pork loin, you can adjust then again by just moving the arrow keys up and down to adjust your time and temperature of the probe. Now, once that parameter is met, now this is your holding time. This is your holding pattern. We have it right now set at 160 degrees. Now what that does, it'll drop the grill down to 160 and let it cook and hold your meat at that position. Now once you decide what temperature you want your grill to hold on, after it reaches the third parameter, you hit this button, you hit the set button, and then the program starts. We're at 204 degrees internal temperature. 45 minutes is what we have left in this first cycle. When that 45 gets down to 0, it'll automatically go to the second cycle. Now, say you're cooking and you want to adjust the Cook Program while you're cooking, while it's running. What you do is hold down the set button again to get back into the Cook Program. Right now you're on update, so then you can go right into it and say you want to adjust the temperature of the grill. You go ahead and adjust it down. We're at 200 degrees, we were at 204. I'm going to slide this over and I'm going to increase this to 250. Alright, so at that point I'm good. I raised my initial set point of the first cycle of the Cook Program. Now it says it's still at 47 minutes where the cook parameter is. Say now, is cooking faster the one I want, or I will need to speed it up? I can lower the amount of time on the Cook Program for that first stage. We're going to lower it down to 20. Then it's going to ask the fan speed. Again, you have three sections here on the fan. You want to leave it on the 3. And then now we're going to leave everything else the same, just to show you what happens. We're at the food. Now we're at the hold. Now remember, as soon as I hit this button, we're going to go right into the program. See, now it's saying the grill temperature is going to get to 250 degrees. We have 16 minutes left in our cycle. 250 degrees internal temp, and then 16 minutes left in the cycle. And this is a very smart controller. It actually keeps track of the time that's already been used during the cook program. That's why you noticed whenever I went from 20 to 16 when I hit the set button to start up the program again. It had already been cooking for 4 minutes, so it takes that time into account and it'll adjust that for you automatically. Now this is also how you would actually get out of the cook program. Say you're cooking and you decide you don't want to be in the cook program anymore. You again hold the button down on set until you see the update. And then now you can scroll through and now you're back to off. So now you turned off the cook program and now it's just going back to what your original temperature was. There's no time showing, it's just saying I'm at 250, and then now you can go in and adjust the temperature to whatever temperature you want right now. Now you're back into normal cook mode and the grill is going to operate just as if it was just cooking by temperature. So now that you know a little bit about our new controller, contact your local dealer. You can go to our website, smokingbrothers.com, type in your zip code, and it'll show you the closest dealer, or you can give us a call at 1-877-GRILL-EM, or you can also reach us on the website at smokingbrothers.com and contact submission form with us. Like always, from our family to your family, have a great barbecue day. Thank you.